Yo! Welcome to Simply Bitcoin Live, your number one source for the peaceful Bitcoin revolution with current breaking news, culture, and manic warfare. We will be your guide through the separation of money and state. And boy, oh boy, is it one of those episodes. You couldn't really call it the state. I would say just well-entrenched, the well-entrenched banking industry, to put it nicely. They're being hostile towards Bitcoin businesses, and a lot of them have been. Some businesses already have been debanked. Has happened. It happened to Swan. Corey Clipson did a Twitter thread, and in that Twitter thread, it also looks like it has happened to Bitcoin Magazine as well. Right? We had the CEO of Bitcoin Magazine directly replying to Corey. Now, I mean, it kind of makes sense, right? It kind of makes sense, right? The established players, they don't want that. And you know what really makes me think that as well? And is this Bloomberg article. Came out February 21st. And the headline, we're going to cover it during the news, is forget Coinbase. Banks may win U.S. crypto custody race, right? So that's interesting, right? It's like they're not even letting the up and coming, like, no, they're like, what, we this is us, it's our banks, and when I say that, I just imagine saying that in Augustine Carson's voice, but I can't clearly do it 100%. Anyways, it's gonna be a great show. I want to bring up our two hosts today. Of course, third member of Simply Bitcoin, who's gonna be filling in for me today, dropping the sauce during the news segment. How you doing, Rustin?
Yo, what's up, guys? And we got good news. Today's show, we just crossed 10,002 subscribers on YouTube.
Holy cow.
Everyone.
Holy cow.
Big deal. Pretty big deal. Thanks for everyone tuning in, man. This is awesome.
Yeah, it's been a long ride, to say the least, guys. Holy cow. Thanks to all of you for making this possible. 10,000 subscribers on YouTube. Definitely a big deal. And of course, my legendary co-host, always optimistic, Optimus Fields, also known as My Living Truth.
I gotta give the horn for the 10K. Honestly, personally, this morning the weather's all over here, Nico, so I'm a little less optimistic than usual. My sinuses are all messed up today, but hey, the show don't stop. We hit 10K. I know Rustin and I are gonna kill this one, so I know you got to run. Let's get into the numbers.
Let's do it. All right, everybody, let's get some numbers. Let's do this.
The Bitcoin numbers.
Brought to you by Nodl. At this point, you should be running your own Bitcoin node. If you don't use your own Bitcoin node, you're trusting someone else's. Run your own version of Bitcoin Core, the Lightning Network, Whirlpool, and Dojo, all from the comfort of your own home. And if you're a digital nomad, you have absolutely no excuse, because now you can run a Nodl through a virtual private server. Visit nodl.eu today. All right, guys, I want to tell you about Bitcoin 2023. It's going to be the largest Bitcoin conference in the world, hosted in sunny Miami Beach, Florida, May 18th through the 20th, 2023. Use the promo code SIMPLY to get a big discount to your tickets to Bitcoin 2023. Let's check out some of the speaker list, shall we? We have author Michael Lewis. I'm sure you guys have heard of him. He wrote The Big Short, Moneyball, The Blind Side. A lot of them have been turned into movies, really good movies, I might add. Of course, we have Arthur Hayes, Michael Saylor, the creator of Ordinals, Jack Mallers, Alex Gladstein, Stacey Herbert, Greg Foss, Preston Pish, and many, many more. Again, use promo code SIMPLY to get a big discount to the biggest Bitcoin celebration in the world, Bitcoin 2023. At the time of recording, the Bitcoin price is 23,710 sats per dollar, 4,012. Block height, 778,839. Reachable Bitcoin nodes, 15,770. Blocks of the halving, 61,161. Halving estimate, April 22nd, 2024. Total Lightning Network capacity, 5,408 Bitcoin. Capacity value, 128 million US dollars. Realized monetary inflation, 1.76%. And the market capitalization of Bitcoin, 457 billion US dollars with the B. In the grand scheme of things, Bitcoin is still a baby. Anyways, guys, I have to run. Opti, it's your show, my friend. I'll see you guys tomorrow.
All right, peace out, Nico. All right, guys, before I go on, I want to highlight a number. I thought I was going to do the numbers today, but Nico doesn't have this on his numbers, and I think this is a huge number right here, guys. Hash rate, the last 2016 blocks above 306.2 exahashes. We've been seeing that number, like, it's basically going parabolic. I don't know about you, but that makes me absolutely bullish on what is going on behind the scenes. And I'm just wondering who is starting to mine, man. It's
hash wars, baby. The hash wars.
Dude, it's happening in real time. Anyways, shifting gears a little bit. I do have a video for you guys, but I'm going to do a little Nico Jones on you at first, because we are seeing a lot of grumblings from central bankers around the world telling us that we need this CBDCs, and it's just pure gaslighting. So I'm going to bring the receipts. We have some recent articles from Bloomberg. Obviously, you know our opinion on Bloomberg. It is corporate press, and they're just making cover for the central bankers and the unproductive class, to put it lightly, out there. So I'm going to cover some of these headlines, cover some of the news we've covered in the past. And then I'm going to show you that we are not the only ones that are seeing this happen in real time. And there is actually people, you know my view on politicians, guys, but there is actually people out there that are politicians that are seeing what we are seeing. And there's still hope out there, man. Again, put hope in yourself. But hey, I digress, and we'll jump on it in a little bit. So first and foremost, we have this article right here with headline on Bloomberg, and it goes, Bank of England official says digital pound, a big opportunity for business. This dropped February 27th. I think that was Monday. And we got Ben Broadbent, Deputy Governor for Monetary Policy, said the UK Central Bank's keenest attention was focused on the regulatory implications of a new payments technology. The experience of digitalization so far is that new products and services enabled by new technologies can be adopted very rapidly at scale. This obviously brings opportunities for financial institutions, for businesses, for individuals. We should expect to see continued improvements, reductions in frictions, and cost of payments. And you guys know our bent here, our perspective on this. Yeah, obviously opportunities for the Bank of England and their digital pound for institutions and businesses. But what are they talking about when they say that it's going to be an improvement for us individuals? We've covered the receipts consistently on this channel. What the central bankers want with the CBDC, it is total control of your financial situation, of your transactions, who you can and can't transact with, and furthermore, whether you can save in that money or not. And I'm bringing the receipts as well. So the next day, again, they are doubling down on the gaslighting, and we got digital pound could protect consumers in bank runs, Bank of England says. So Bank of England Deputy Governor John Cunliffe said a new digital version of the pound could help protect consumers in the event of a failure in the banking system, adding to arguments in favor of a project make a form of cash usable online. The official said that consumers are already living in an era of instantaneous bank runs where depositors can move money quickly to institution if they're worried about the solvency of the bank where they keep deposits. And while so-called CBDCs may intensify a run on a bank, as it would allow customers to move their money even more quickly, it would also give them a safe place to store value. Actually, a CBDC has financial stability benefits because it provides another payment system in terms of resilience, but it also means that if we ever have to deal with failed banks, again, there's another asset that people can go into. The amount of gaslighting in this the beginning of this article is absolutely just it's just like, first and foremost, as we continuously tell you on the show, money's already digital. Like, this whole movement or push towards making money digital is just pure gaslighting, guys. We know, if you're a listener of this show, if you've been here, we brought the receipts for a long time. Money is completely digital, and we've said it in the past. The only reason they are talking about a CBDC is because Bitcoin has forced that narrative. They realize that they have to co-opt the narrative so that they don't get left in the dust. So what are they going to do? They're going to try to tell you that, our CBDC is a benefit for the individual. You can store your value in our CBDC just as well as anything else. And if the banks blow up, we have our CBDC, which is basically a continuation of the current system. you do not want to hold their CBDC. But hey, don't take it from me. Remember what Augustus Carstens himself said, and he said this in the past, and these aren't my words for the audio listeners. I have a screenshot over here of Augustus Carstens. I wasn't going to play the whole video because Nico's played this video on the show multiple times, and I'm sure we will continue to play this video. But as you can see on the screenshot, I just paused it at the perfect point, which makes our point for us. Remember who Augustus Carstens is. He's head of the Bank for International Settlements, or as we like to call it, the central bank. And so you can see what he says. The key difference in the CBDC is that the central bank will have absolute control. So the Bank of England with your digital pound, what are you guys even talking about? Where you guys are saying it's going to benefit the individual. As we've brought the receipts, there's no benefit for the individual in regards to CBDC. This push to make sure and ensure that you don't understand what's going on and push you into the CBDC is literally as dystopian and as authoritarian and tyrannical as anything I've ever seen. This would make Orwellian lose his mind. And yes, Elaine said it best. Trust us, bro. Just trust us with the money. And on that point, I brought up this op-ed by Augustus Carstens himself, January 24th, 2022. This was last year. Remember what he said. The future of money lies with central banks, not with big tech or cryptocurrency. And remember the quote. The answer is simple. The soul of money belongs neither to tech nor to an anonymous ledger. The soul of money is trust, and central banks continue to be the institution's best place to provide trust in the digital age. They are so out of touch with reality. It's absolutely insane and actually hilarious to me, because we've seen since this op-ed drop that people are losing trust in central banks, and they know it. We know it. What's Chrissy Lagarde always say? If there's an escape route, people will use it. Well, again, on this same thread, we've brought the receipts in the past, and we have a real-time experiment, a real-time understanding of what the future may hold for us Americans if we are ever forced to use a CBDC. And this is just a headline from Forbes that dropped this morning. The Naira crisis is fueling Bitcoin adoption in Nigeria. Remember when we brought the receipts that the e-Naira, the Nigerian government is basically destroyed their currency, and they're doing their best to push people into the e-Naira CBDC system. And the Nigerians are opting out. They are buying Bitcoin. They're avoiding the e-Naira as much as possible. So shouts out to our brothers and sisters in Nigeria, because Nigeria is becoming one of the hotspots for Bitcoin adoption. And I say all that because remember, again, last week when Augustus Carstens came out and says that crypto has lost the battle against fiat currencies, rather shitcoins have lost the battle against fiat currency because it is literally the fiat system on the blockchain. But Bitcoin continues to win. And I've seen this. We know this. But again, remember what they keep harping on. The battle has been won. Carstens said on Bloomberg TV interview on Wednesday that fiat currencies are beating Bitcoin, and a technology doesn't make for trusted money. Remember this, guys. They know what we know. People are losing trust in financial institutions. People are losing trust in the central banks. And this isn't just happening in, the US on the Fed continuously, manipulating the money supply. It's not just happening in the Western world. It's happening everywhere around the world that has a central bank. People are waking up to the fact that you cannot trust your central bank to not manipulate your money. And again, bringing this full circle to our clip today, we even have politicians in the United States that are saying the same thing. So let's play this video, and then I'm going to let Rustin jump in.
The Biden administration is currently itching to create a digital authoritarian-styled surveillance-style digital dollar. And through an executive order, they are pursuing analysis on a retail CBDC that would not be open, permissionless, or private. In fact, it would be ridden with significant risk to Americans' privacy, security, financial inclusion, and a whole lot more. This kind of digital currency would give the federal government access to and control over literally every financial transaction conducted by Americans. That's why I, along with a number of my colleagues, introduced the CBDC Anti-Surveillance State Act.
Absolutely love it. Again, you know me, I don't put much faith in a politician. I put more faith in myself to understand what is going on. But the fact that we have politicians that are waking up to the fact that you cannot trust central banks. What do you say? Surveillance tool, tyrannical, authoritarian, complete control of your transactions. It just goes back to everything we say. The Bitcoin signal is spreading, and this Bitcoin movement is unstoppable. You can't put the cat back into the bag. But again, I'm reminded of what Pierre Rochard said when he came on IRL with us. There are still some good politicians out there that understand what is at stake. And I think a lot more politicians believe what we believe. And I say all that just to say that I think there is a turning tide out there in favor for Bitcoin. We are seeing slow trickle effects of this. So again, it is upon all of us to stand up, to call out the CBDC bullshit, because this is absolutely insane that they're trying to corral us into a total surveillance controlled CBDC and say it is good for us. Like, I don't know about you, but this is one of those, like, this makes my blood boil. Anyways, I know Rustin's about to go bananas on this. So what's your thoughts on this? Am I seeing too much into it? Are we actually seeing these signs happen right now?
No, I think you nailed it. Great job. And out of those kind of people we don't like in DC, Tom Emmer and Warren Davidson seem a little more based than a lot of those people. But a digital pound, you were reading that. That just sounds like a typical shitcoin advertisement. It's all a means to aid with UBI and post-hyperinflation environment. So it's a full technocratic panopticon, tyranny at mass level, fiat on steroids. That is what this digital pound and CBDC system is, and why Tom Emmer was coming out so vehemently against it. You're with a CBDC or a digital fiat, you're going to have negative rates. You're going to have forced purchases of state-picked and chosen goods. I mean, they can't even fix fucking potholes. I mean, they lose trillions of dollars at a time. They are incapable, also, when they issue these, they will be incapable of being a store of value, just like all other fiat shitcoins.
Couldn't agree more. There's a great comment in here, and I really do agree with this. Hold on, let me find this. SpongeBob SquarePants says CBDCs won't happen. It will be stopped. I actually agree with this. I think there was a time where my paranoid, my tinfoil hat came on, and I'm like, man, it really does seem like a CBDC will roll out. But I think we are starting to see signs that people will not allow a CBDC to happen. And I forget who it was. I think it was my buddy Mike Hobart that said, if the US is able to stop a CBDC, then that is going to be absolutely bullish for every other country around the world. So continue to call it out, continue to opt into Bitcoin, continue to take Bitcoin into self-custody using, Jade, Cold Card, Sparrow, Spectre, Green Wallet, Blue Wallet, Wallet of Satoshi, Zeus, Phoenix, Pine, Blue, all right, Breeze, Moon. I'm blanking, guys. My head's a little stuffy this morning, but
then go zap all your homies.
Yeah, and then go zap everyone on Nostr. Anyways, let's get into the news because Rustin needs some time to give you all the sauce.
The Daily News.
Brought to you by Blockstream Jade, built by Bitcoiners for Bitcoiners. It's an open source hardware wallet for the cold storage of Bitcoin. Blockstream Jade houses a full color camera, allowing for fully air-gapped Bitcoin transactions. Scan and display QR codes directly on the device to sign transactions and verify addresses with ease. Use your Blockstream Jade with your favorite wallet software, such as the Blockstream Green, Blue Wallet, Electrum, and Sparrow. Get yourself a Blockstream Jade today and take self-custody of your Bitcoin.
Reston, this is
all right,
you.
Let's get to it. So we know the establishment and those Charlie Munger types think Bitcoin is worthless and highly regarded, and they yell at it while spittle drops out of their mouth. But what I'm getting at is, if Bitcoin is a nothing burger, it's a joke, why the concerted effort to stop it? But I mean, at the end of the day, we know you can't stop it. You can only hope to contain it, like Derrick Henry between the tackles. But We're going to look at the recent unbanking of Bitcoin and crypto companies and look at, is this a variation of Operation Choke Point to close off fiat rails? Is this a new, or is this fear following FTX and the shitcoin scams? All these people getting wrecked, along with the crackdown from Uncle Gary. He's taken unregistered securities to the woodshed. Or, and we were talking about this a second ago, is it a means to silence and eliminate competition before offering Bitcoin and shitcoins themselves? So let's go ahead and start off with this Wall Street Journal article right here. All right, so now bankers are reevaluating any exposure to the crypto sector, no matter how small. According to people familiar with the thinking, the few smaller banks that got deep into crypto are reducing their exposure to the market or cutting ties altogether. Banks that kept their distance from crypto are trying even harder to stay away, closing accounts and shunning customers with potential connections to the industry. Signature Bank cut ties with the international business of Binance, the biggest crypto exchange. The lender, one of crypto's leading banks, started paring back its relationships with crypto depositors late last year. Now, I can't say I blame the Binance thing, and we have like 3 recent videos related to that cuckery going on over there in the highlight playlist. Go ahead and check those out. But the crackdown is squeezing crypto businesses. While the industry often pitched itself as an alternative to banks, these firms still rely heavily on banks to link up with a financial system. Let's go ahead and continue down here. This is great. Regulators reversed course following the FTX meltdown. In January, the 3 major banking regulators warned banks that they were concerned. Oh, let me bring that down. There we go. That they were concerned about their crypto ties. The regulators said they had significant safety and soundness concerns. And so with that, it's not a ban. It's words and recommendation that the cronies nod and agree to, like Charlie with his little drool bib. Okay. That was a red flare that went up that basically says, banks, if you're going to be anywhere near crypto business, we're going to be looking at you very carefully. So these fiat banks don't want too many eyes on them. The hypocrisy there. Please ignore the trillions of Please ignore the trillions of fiat cuck bucks laundered through our legacy system. Bitcoin bad. Give me a break. Let's go to this one. Here we go. Forget Coinbase. Banks may win U.S. crypto custody race. And we were touching on this. Unfortunately for the young upstarts who are trying to reinvent finance, it's the Wall Street old guard and their fintech friends that are likely to end up the winners when it comes to custody. And because these people can't compete, they're statist. They just remove competition and make everyone go down to their level. That's how worthless these people are. Executives at the bank-backed firms that I spoke to the week said the traditional firms that are considering getting into digital assets, and there are quite a few of them, basically have 2 options in the face of the SEC's current attitude toward crypto: build it yourself or acquire someone who can. And we've seen how this has played out with Caitlin Long, and she has said that there is a coordinated effort among regulators at Custodia. Let me get to that quote there. But I have tried, and indeed, Custodia staff across the board has tried very hard for the last 2.5 years to educate bank regulators on the risk and upside. Good news is that she claimed the denial of Custodia's application also demonstrates a coordinated effort among agencies. It highlights the key question of whether crypto should be inside the regulatory perimeters. Should there be regulated versions, or should it be done outside the regulated system? Now, kind of good news here from Friday. The Cheyenne firm renewed its push for a master account. So good luck to Caitlin Long on her endeavors there. Hopefully these cucks get it together. But if not, it is expected. I mean, we are in the then they fight you stage. Let's check out Lynn Alden. I banked for decades at a local credit union. Let me make that bigger for you guys. Anti-big bank stuff. And then out of nowhere, they were like, we don't do international wires anymore. What? I have family, friends, business, international. You don't do international wires? No. So big banks then? I think a lot of macro people don't understand Bitcoin until they physically try it. Buy Bitcoin from a place. Open a free non-custodial wallet. Send your Bitcoin from that place to your own wallet. It's yours now. It's like magic internet money. If it gets big enough, look at self-custodial hardware. Exactly. So she's teaching best practices here and how We could just bleed this thing dry. These guys, their days are numbered. And here you guys saw the news from Swan and Corey Clipston, what he was going through recently. Let me see. Was that back in November or December when Swan got cut off? And Corey as well. Let me see. Sorry, guys. Okay, so have you been debanked? LinkedIn banned Corey from the platform. Swan, if there's any platform that needs Bitcoin signal to pierce the cacophony of crypto, blockchain, Web3, Divinity scam noise, it's LinkedIn. Definitely should have like actual professionals, not well, but then again, the professionals are VC scammers, right? So this is just interesting stuff, guys. We are well in to the then they fight you stage. Let's go back here. I just want that headline up so we can take a look at that. But, you know, the free Bitcoin advertisements just keep coming in hot. I want to say thank you, government, for continuing to fail and show your cards as an authoritarian state with these bankers complicit in it, tech companies complicit in it, pharma companies. Here's a real brain buster. What do you call it when the state, business, and banking are all in bed together? I guess you call it democracy, but man, some brains are severely drowning. It is getting gnarly. As we say all the time, we are early in the then they fight you stage, which is a form of blowback, or in counterview, it shows how these people fear Bitcoin. And the more people picking up those Bitcoin bricks, the faster that fiat glass house is shattered, along with the state apparatus and its ability to rig the system in their favor. They will no longer be able to steal from working class people. They will have to get their kingpin asses up and provide value, or go forth and fuck themselves.
Let's go. Hold on. Oh, let's go. Rushton, love the energy, bro. I mean, look, I've said this for a while, and I basically said this in the numbers when we were talking about CBDCs as well. Like, they're scared, man. The banks are scared. The central bankers are scared. The central planners are scared. And again, if there's an escape hatch, people will use it. I am fundamentally convinced that humans want freedom, that humans seek freedom. And so, you know, this is what Bitcoin is. This is what you guys doing out there every single day. This is what we do every single day, is to not only counter the FUD, but show people that there is another option, because a lot of people still don't understand that there is an option, and that option is Bitcoin. And so I just find it absolutely ridiculous that Bitcoin companies have to jump through so many hula hoops that no other industry it comes even close to. And again, to put the numbers together, you know, Bitcoin is a tiny market cap, and yet it's got overblown attention on what we're doing over here in the Bitcoin space. But as I say all the time, shitcoiners make us all look bad, and they're going to be using that FTX collapse for as long as humanly possible. So to all you shitcoiners out there, quit scamming people, because you guys are hurting all of us. You're hurting this revolution. You guys are out there to just be, you know, greedy fiat gains, and you're literally stopping the monetary revolution that is Bitcoin. Like, you are hurting people in the long run by being absolutely greedy shitcoiners and wrecking people's life savings. Like, it's absolutely atrocious. It's not about legalities. Like, you guys are actually immoral, in my opinion. And this is why Bitcoiners get so much shade. This is why we get so much hate, because there's a fundamental difference between Bitcoin and crypto, quote unquote, or Bitcoin and shitcoins. And this is why we come out here so hard every single day. And this is why I've been ringing the bell to try to tell people, and my boy Big Sean Harris has been doing the same thing. As a Bitcoiner, I think it's upon us right now to do our best to separate Bitcoin from shitcoins, and every single one of its iterations. There is Bitcoin and there is shitcoins, and that's not Bitcoin, bro. Like, Bitcoin is the escape hatch. Bitcoin is the the exit boat. Like, we are on a sinking Titanic known as the fiat monetary system, and we have the solution. It is Bitcoin. So as Bitcoiners, as Bitcoin companies, we are fighting an uphill battle. We are fighting the Great Leviathan, and there is a $1 trillion PSYOP campaign against Bitcoiners. So just be prepared. You know, get your shields ready, get your mind ready, get your body ready, get your memes ready, because like Bitcoin is unstoppable. Everyone out there running your nodes, you guys are the network. Like they cannot stop this network. Everyone that continues to propagate the Bitcoin signal, everyone that runs a node, everyone that puts their capital into Bitcoin is ensuring that the Bitcoin network continues to grow. And then again, just to add on top of the banks trying to shut off Bitcoin companies, man, Bitcoin is that sly roundabout way. Bitcoin and Bitcoiners will just route around all this. You know, peer-to-peer markets will grow, the circular economy will grow, and Bitcoin and Bitcoiners will find a way. So as much as they try to plug up some holes in the fiat system, Bitcoiners will figure out other ways. And this is just the part of the beauty of being a Bitcoiner and everything that's going on in the bear market. Shouts out to Becca, because Bitcoiners are thinking this exact statement right here.
I am building.
So we continue to build the freedom tools that we need. And you guys out there taking your Bitcoin into self-custody continues to route around the system. So again, take your Bitcoin into self-custody using Jade, Cold Card, Seed Signer, Spectre, Sparrow, Blue Wallet, Green Wallet, Breeze, Moon, Pine, Phoenix, Zeus. I just downloaded Wallet Satoshi to interact with Noster. Like, we have the tools, guys. Download them all, see which ones you like the best, and then tell your friends and family which tools that you think they should be using, which UXs and user interfaces that you like the best. You need to name the names so that people know what is going on. Hold your friends' hands through this monetary journey, through the separation of money and state, as we usher in the Bitcoin standard. Anyways, Rustin, you want to add a couple more things, or should we go straight into the culture?
Man, hit it. You killed it right there, Opti. Let's get
go.
into this culture action. I'm looking forward to it.
The Daily Culture.
Brought to you by SwanBitcoin.com. Swan is the best way to build your Bitcoin stack with automated Bitcoin savings plans and instant purchases, serving clients of any size from $10 to $10 million. We love Swan because they incentivize self-custody and dollar cost averaging. What are you waiting for? Visit SwanBitcoin.com today.
Let's go. All right, guys. So first and foremost, we will be at BitBlock Boom August 24th through the 27th. This is a Bitcoin conference. Only talk about Bitcoin. Nico and I met for the first time in the flesh at BitBlock Boom. We're going to be holding down the spaces over there. So come see us in Austin. Again, August 24th to the 27th. We're going to be hitting the circuits of conferences this year, guys. We're excited. We're holding them down. We're going to be doing the spaces, all these unconfiscatable in December in Las Vegas, December 7th through the 8th. This is a notoriously toxic Bitcoin maxi conference. My favorite part is the at Scammy Awards, and I'm excited to finally go to this one for my first time. But anyways, let's get into this story. So as I keep telling you guys, everything we're doing here is we're simply in the mythical hyper Bitcoinization of the world. And I kind of had my own orange pill. I read you guys the article by Austin Herbert the other day, an orange pill for Bitcoiners, an orange pill for orange pillars. And it kind of hit me with one, I think it was the first sentence. It's the idea that as a Bitcoiner, if we're being honest with ourselves, we can be better at spreading the Bitcoin message. And part of that understanding is that we just get stupidly bullish sometimes. We are very high time preference with the adoption of Bitcoin. And I mentioned this yesterday. This article by Alex Svetsky dropped, and I absolutely love it. It's called The 3 Generations Theory, How Bitcoin Reaches Mass Adoption in 60 Years. Whether Bitcoiners like it or not, large-scale Bitcoin adoption is not coming this decade or next. It's simply going to take a number of generations to filter into society. Now, before you think that we're being absolutely bearish, give us a second. Let me read through some of the meat of this article. And again, I want to give a context here. I am blanking on exactly what tribe this is coming from, but I think it's the Iroquois tribe. And they have this thinking of lowering your time preference, think in three generational thinking, or like biblical thinking. The sins of your father takes 7 generations to filter out. This is the kind of perspective that we're taking on this one. So let me get into this article. I'll give you the meat of the article, and then we'll kind of talk about it and why I wanted to bring it up today. So this is Svetsky's article. Bitcoiners are notorious for their overestimation of how quickly Bitcoin is going to take over the world and become widely adopted as money. And again, before you accuse us of giving up or a flake or being bearish, just reserve your opinion till the end of this. So Bitcoin is a techno-social economic transformation, and people are very quick to project technology adoption curves onto Bitcoin. But the problem is that Bitcoin is not just a technology. And what he's talking about here is the S-curve of Bitcoin adoption. We always pointed out the S-curve of Bitcoin adoption, like other technologies. We are at the very beginning of this. And while I think there is merit to this idea of the S-curve adoption of Bitcoin, I also understand that this is a whole new game. So again, back to Svetsky's writing, says Bitcoin is an entire techno-social economic transformation. It's a reinvention of money from the ground up, incompatible with anything before. So it's not only orders of magnitude larger as a shift, also completely different in a paradigmatic sense. Again, guys, I'm not going to read the whole article, but definitely go check out the whole article because he drops a lot of receipts. He gives you a lot of good meat in this article, but I just want to touch on the 3 different adoption phases, the 3 generations, because I really think it's an important paradigm to use to think about what is actually happening, what we're going to see in the future, and what we can potentially see in the long time frame of this Bitcoin adoption cycle. So again, we've been harping on the same idea of you can't just close your eyes and ears and tweet that Bitcoin fixes this, close quote, and pretend it's all going to be okay because number go up always happens. Yes, number go up will always happen. Yes, our tweets and our memes are a part of the toolbox that we have to orange pill people. But again, this is why I go so hard on trying to hold people's hands and give them the tools every single day so that they not only know that Bitcoin will change, but they know which wallets to use. They know, the best ways to get their Bitcoin, the best mentalities they need to have around Bitcoin, whether it's DCA, whether it's just taking their Bitcoin off exchanges, whether it's peer-to-peer. You got to make these trade-offs for yourself, but we will give you the plate so that you can know where to go and where to find the stuff. So again, we need to understand that we're playing the greatest game. Guys, we're playing for all the marbles here. It is the fiat system versus the Bitcoin system, the fiat standard versus the Bitcoin standard. It is orange versus green. We're fighting both the establishment and the very cultures we've been brought up in. So there's more change that needs to occur than any of us could possibly fathom. And I had this orange pill for myself recently. Like, Bitcoin is a marathon, not a sprint. And as much as I fundamentally am bullish on Bitcoin, as much as I think Bitcoin will change the world, I understand that it's going to take time. And I've been saying it the last couple of days privately and on the show, like, I came to the conclusion that I am going to be a Bitcoiner, orange pilling, for most likely the rest of my life. This is going to be a lifetime fight for all of us. Yes, we are going to see, inklings of mass adoption. Yes, we are going to see society change, but I am fundamentally convinced that I am probably going to be doing this for the rest of my life. Like, I don't know. This is just where my head's at right now. Maybe in time this will change. But anyways, the 3 generations theory as laid out by Svetsky. The large-scale social economic shifts take generations to settle in and normalize. The old guard needs to die, so to speak, so that those born into this new paradigm can lead. Each generation is a paradigm shift in and of itself, and each successive such change brings with it a completely new understanding of and a relationship to Bitcoin. And the first generation is all of us. We're first generation Bitcoiners. He calls it the infection stage. I might call it like the medicine stage, but I'm going to use his words, the infection stage. So we are in that first generation of Bitcoin. Let's call it the first era, the first chapter, the first generation Bitcoins. This era or generation will span 20 years and will form, as Svetsky calls it, the infection stage for Bitcoiner. I call it that because in this stage, Bitcoin is infecting the system. Its intent is to infect key infrastructure, key mines, key levers, and key systems in the current paradigm. It needs to initially creep in as unnoticed as possible, then form some some sort of symbiosis with the host as it grows so that there emerge mutual benefits for both the ever-expanding set of host and the virus. In this case, Bitcoin. In this stage, Bitcoin had to prove that it was something someone would trade for money or pizza. It had to show a significant commercial proof of concept, which it did with Silk Road. It needed to proceed through an early stage of monetization, which it did with Mt. Gox. And it had to then inspire an entire industry of copycats because what it did was so transformative, which it did with the shitcoins. And with this comes a whole lot of speculation until we reach a significant enough saturation in total market cap or liquidity that we can make a phase transition to a new paradigm. And we're in the middle of the stages. I'd say we're kind of more in the later stages, guys. Again, we're at 15 years of this monetary experiment. You know, we're still in the speculation mini area of the first generation or the infection stage of Bitcoin's early life. And the next 5 years is going to be absolutely bananas. Again, as Fetsy's guys writes, we're 15 years in and very much on track. We have another 5 years to go before the next generation. And in these 5 years, we will see 2 more halvings, an enormous amount of speculation, and a real acceleration towards that liquidity or saturation of market capitalization. At the same time, behind the scenes, Bitcoiners are building. And this is where it really hit me. And we were talking about this in the spaces yesterday, where Generation 2, Svetsky calls it the infrastructure stage. And it's this idea that imagine being born in 2009, the same year that Bitcoin was. You are already living in a world that Bitcoin has been around either as long as you have or longer than you've been alive. Like, this is happening today. There are children out there that have been in a world where Bitcoin has been around for their entire life. Like, that actually blows my mind. Like, you grow up and come of age in a world where Bitcoin has always existed. For you as a kid growing up, you just took it as a given that money is a digital thing. I mean, us millennials are already kind of in that boat. Money is already digital. The older generation is starting to transition to the understanding that everything is digital. Some of them are still having a hard time, but there are kids born today that have lived in a world of nothing but digital money. And this is the part that I find very interesting. In 2029, you're turning 20, and perhaps speculation hasn't really been on your mind yet. Perhaps instead you see a problem that needs to be solved, and you simply view Bitcoin as a tool to help you solve it. There's even a chance that your parents were Bitcoiners of the first generation, and they taught you principles or past Bitcoin, and you grew up immersed in it. So not only is Bitcoin something that just always has been around, it's something you deeply understand. That's why, as Fetsky's right, I see this next stage as the tooling or infrastructure stage. In this era, Bitcoin will finally move on from the speculators and into the hearts, minds, and hand of the builders. The 20-year-olds who are raising capital and building businesses in this era will use Bitcoin, Lightning, and other layers as tools that give them such a significant edge in the world that we will see an entire array of products and services that integrate money into their operations in much the same way that communication and the internet has been embedded in everything we use today. The incentives will evolve in such a way that having Bitcoin in its abstracted layers in your kit will give you superpowers. And this is like a beautiful idea. I heard it the other day. Like, I don't listen to someone older than me. Like, I listen to the children because they are innovators. And this idea, man, in 2029, we're going to have young kids, young entrepreneurs that are seeing Bitcoin completely different than what we see. And they view it just as money, just as a tool for them to build the tools, the products, the apps, whatever it is that I can't even think because I'm a crusty millennial. They will change the world just by being entrepreneurs. And this era will be the clash of new builders and Generation 1 Bitcoiners on one side versus the remaining elite of the old world who still own much of the fiat wealth, the stocks, the bonds, the property, enterprises, shitcoins, etc. Generation 1 and 2 Bitcoiners, especially in the early innings of this era, will still be outnumbered. And you take this period out 20 years to 2049, and I don't think any of us can begin to fathom the kind of infrastructure, products, and services that will come from it and how much the tide will shift. And I'm reminded of the quote or the saying, you know, you overestimate what you can do in 2 years and you underestimate what will get done in 10 years. Now zoom out. I am convinced, wholly underestimating what will happen in 25, 30 years. And, you know, I don't have the hubris to sit here and tell you that I can even fathom what will happen in that time span. All I can tell you is I am bullish AF on Bitcoin. And this is where we get to the point of this article. Is Generation 3, 40 years from now? Well, 25-ish, 30 years from now, the mass adoption stage. This is the generation of the mass adoption. This is where our children's come of age. They will truly not know a world in which Bitcoin didn't exist and may actually enter adulthood without even knowing what fiat is. The end of this era is when the last of our generation will die off, and whatever duct tape was holding any of the old infrastructure together will melt away. The city of fiat will be abandoned and will enter the true mainstream adoption phase. And you might be thinking, no, man, it will happen faster because look at all the tech that's going to be built by then. But Svetsky counters with, sure, lots of tech will be built, but I'm pretty certain that a significant number of people will still hesitate to sell their homes, their cars, their products, or services for magic internet money. And that number will shrink. It will continuously shrink, but still, not too many people, they're not all quote unquote extremists, monetary psychopaths, toxic maxis like us, and will trust the 40-year-old money over things like property that have been around for thousands of years. And this might be a point of contention considering, the dollar has been around for roughly 100 years. But again, if you listen to like what Luke Broyles says, the dollar's really only been around in its current incarnation for the last 50 years. So maybe this transition will happen a lot quicker, but the mass adoption of Bitcoin throughout all of society, saturating every point of the world, I think in 40 years, we're going to be in almost a similar situation to what's happening with but Bitcoin is where we'll end up. The wealth needs to change hands first, and that will take time. And this is why Svetsky thinks the third generation is where the mass adoption phase occurs. They will come of age in a world where we have superior financial technology and an economic infrastructure that will allow them to use Bitcoin as capital, the most liquid, the most widely acceptable, the most significant, trusted form of capital available, that is Bitcoin. And then take this to 2069 and you're talking about a completely different world. Absolutely bullish. I know at first you may be thinking it was a bearish take, but this is where I think it's just stupidly bullish to zoom out completely and be like, okay, we're in this for the long fight. We're in this for the long run. You as Bitcoiners, I say it all the time, I don't see an end to stacking. I don't see an end to accumulating Bitcoin. I will save in Bitcoin for the rest of my life. I think I will be, propagating the Bitcoin signal for the rest of my life. And when Bitcoin's consensus rules have remained unchanged and it has tick-tocked for the next block for 3, 4, 5 decades, that people will naturally have developed the thing that matters most for a new social economic standard and paradigm, which is trust. And as much as us Bitcoiners hate the word trust, trust matters. And the truth is that you most trust that which you can verify. This is why Bitcoin will ultimately be the most trusted monetary, economic, and communications layer on Earth after a few generations. And just remember, what did Augustus Carson say? What do the bankers continuously say? It's this idea. What did Satoshi say in the white paper? It's all about trust, and that trust has been abused, and it's going to take a long time for humans on planet Earth to get over their PTSD of fiat money and start to trust a new system. Some of us, being the early innovators, the early adopters, we have already opted into the Bitcoin standard. We have already seen the fruits of this in our daily lives, in our personal lives, in our friends and families' lives, and this is why I continuously say, live a good life, be a good example of being a Bitcoiner. And maybe we can, accelerate this 3-generational thinking. But I think there's still a point to be made that if we zoom out, we think of this on a longer term, we understand that, hey, we're going to be in this for the long run. You are in it for the long run. And pop out some more Bitcoiners because maybe we can accelerate this curve. Anyways, Rustin, I've been ranting. What's good? What's your thoughts on this?
No, good session. Great article by Svetsky. Kind of a different take, not like kind of trying to be a rationalist here. I like what you brought up with Bitcoin, BitBlock Boom and Unconfiscatable before getting into that. Like, if you guys haven't been to a Bitcoin conference, make sure and go. The only one I've been to is Bitcoin 22 in Miami. It was freaking awesome because you get to meet all the people behind the NIMs, all those people you've been dropping Leotas at Steve Hanke with and stuff. You get to meet them in person. It's pretty awesome. And to be around freedom and like-minded individuals. But getting into what Svetsky was talking about, the phases, I mean, when you think through it, it's very obvious. You got your early adopters, those who grow up with its existence, and those who grow up using it as just the norm. And as we get into this, I've talked about it a lot. Go back to the revolution because there are some mirrors here. All it took was about 30% of the colonies to stir that real uprising. And it started with a few like-minded individuals in Boston that got tired of taking shit from the state. But that led to And Washington knew this from the get-go of the revolution, that it was going to be a war of attrition. They had to outlast the status and make their attempts to rule no longer economically or politically feasible. Sending equipment back and forth across the Atlantic, not good. So let's do that. Let's outlast these status, and let's not become the British or the East Indies Company policing the world. Okay. And I liked Agent Gold put a good one up there. Agent Gold. Okay, we're wandering. We're wandering the desert, but the land of milk and honey ain't too far away, brother. Here we go.
Let's go. Yeah, Agent Gold also hit me with this one. I'm going to cover a few of these comments before we get into the memes. Agent Gold said, Moses didn't get to enter the promised land he was leading others to, but he got to see it on his way out. Yeah, that's kind of the idea. I think that when we're old, it's kind of like Interstellar, you know, like at the very end of the movie, the daughter is the old one, and they're in a futuristic world. Like, I think this is kind of where this is taking. But Narwhal's Taco is kind of, hit us with good constructive criticism. He says, this is too thinky think. Simple fact is the next bull run will make it undeniable that BTC is here to stay, and everyone everywhere has to have some. I completely agree. I think this next bull run is going to be one of the catalysts where it's like, Bitcoin is going to have that gradually then suddenly moment, but I am still convinced that there's going to be some ardent fiat holdouts. They might be the most vocal ones. They might have, the most capital, but on an individual level, I think everyday people are going to start to wake up, and they are right now, considering all the inflation we're seeing in the world. Everyone's feeling the pain. Everyone's understanding that there is something wrong with the system, and we need to find a solution. Wait, what? Hold on. All right, I'm going into the memes because Rustin's distracting me. Let's get into the memes, and then we'll plug some of this stuff. One second. Wait, which one's the memes? Here we go.
The Daily Meme Review.
Brought to you by Kaboomracks. I get this question all the time. Nico, where should I buy Bitcoin miners? The answer is Kaboomracks. It's the best place to buy Bitcoin miners. That's where you're going to find the best deals and the best prices. Start your mining utopia today. To check out their racks, you got to go to t.me/Kaboomracks. Join their Telegram group and start your mining journey today. Kaboomracks.
Kaboomracks. All right, first and foremost, Becca. She's trying to troll us. She says the Bitcoin rodeo in Calgary this year in July too. Give me a pretty meme in meme form, and I will shill it in the meme review. She's saying it's not good enough for the Simply Bitcoin shill. Hey, this is the first time I'm hearing it, Becca. You need to be louder with your marketing. Anyways, let's get into these memes. All right, first and foremost, you guys already know we are in an information war. You guys are the frontline soldiers. As we continuously bring the receipts, the powers that be are working overtime to push $1 trillion PSYOP campaign against you, the average person, so that you get gaslit into a tyrannical CBDC system. And all we have in our arsenal is the truth, is continuously spreading the signal, is truth in art, is the memes, is ridicule, is waking up people to this game. Tweets are the bullets, memes are the artillery, and we are in the fight of our lives right now. I am fully convinced it is Bitcoin or slavery. And at the very end of the day, you want to live a good life, you need to hold some Bitcoin. I don't care how much you hold, but you need to hold some because it looks like the fiat system, the traditional world you are so used to, the status quo, it looks like it's on its last legs. And so if you want to protect yourself and your family, you need to hold some Bitcoin. This is uncontentious. You can't convince me otherwise. You can argue all you want, but the best money will win, and it's not your paper IOUs. Anyways, this first meme is by our friend Don_T-Cell, aka Don't Sell. And it looks like we got, I don't know who this, some old guy, geriatric guy sitting on the cliff, and he goes, so you think you're the king of knocking down banks? And we got Godzilla, and he goes, Satoshi? If you know, you know, Satoshi is breaking down the great Leviathan that is the central banks. Anyways, this next one is by @RD_BTC, and he goes, after 5+ years of constant stacking, #Bitcoin. I forget what movie is this. The Avengers guy. I don't know.
Guardians.
Guardians. All right. Yeah. See, dude, all the popular culture is just morphed down and like, how do I make it into a Bitcoin signal? Anyways, it's the buff guy from the Guardians of the Galaxy. He's got laser eyes. He goes, I too am extraordinarily humble. After 5 years of constant stacking, stay humble out there. Oh, I love this one. This next one, The Last of Us. I'm sure you guys are watching this, a new zombie show. And I felt this one. This is by @McShane_writes. He goes, how it feels to spend Bitcoin. And if you've seen the show, he has this moment where he's about to, like, his heart starts palpitating. And
a coincidence.
Yeah, a coincidence. Exactly. The fear is overcoming, and he gets this moment where he thinks he's going to have a heart attack. And this is the feeling when you spend your sats. It's like, oh my God, it's when's number going to go up so I don't drop so many sats. This next one is by my boy Rope, aka @Ropium on Twitter. And he doesn't drop, there's no words to it, but we got a park ranger and he goes, oh my God, it's Bigfoot. And then Bigfoot responds, oh my God, it's the guy who got rugged by FTX, BlockFi, and 3AC. And then we got a coworker to the Ranger, goes, see anything cool lately? And he goes, no, shut up. Savage. Okay, this next one is by @FoldApp. And they go 4 out of 10 playground, 10 out of 10 hole. And I really felt this one because, like, this is kind of, you know what they should have done? They should have upon like number go up, shitcoin circus here, and then the slide would be Bitcoin going down the manhole into the endless rabbit hole that is Bitcoin. There is no coming out of the rabbit hole once you go down the rabbit hole. This is the way. And this next one, I've been trying to put this on the show for a couple of days. Shouts out to the BTC therapists, because I'm learning that it's not Nico putting these memes out. He's LARPing on your skills. Anyways, we got a 2013. We got a little stick figure holding a small little Bitcoin, and then we got 2017. The Bitcoin logo gets a little bigger, and the guy's holding it, and it's compressing a little bit because it's getting heavier. And then 2021, the Bitcoin logo is huge, and the guy can barely hold it. And then 2025, the Bitcoin logo is absolutely huge. It's gone exponential, and it has crushed the person trying to hold the Bitcoin logo, which basically means number will go up, and you will be pleasantly surprised and happy that you held on to your Bitcoins. Anyways, this last one is by @CoinBitsApp, and it goes, don't be a trend chaser, find purpose, then follow it. #Bitcoin. I really love this one. We have quote unquote crypto, and it's a bunch of lines leading everywhere, going in squiggles, going one way, going the other. And it goes chasing trends. This is you trying to chase the hottest shit coin. This is you trying to chase, my crypto yields. And then we got Bitcoin, and it is just one continuous line from left to right as number goes up to the promised land, and it says follow a purpose, which is Bitcoin, which is what we are all doing here, continuously spreading the signal, continuously building the world we want to see by putting our capital into Bitcoin. Anyways, drop your meme review score in the chat so I can cover it live. But before I do that, here's my meme review score. I have the physical Bitcoin mag orange party issue with the Bukele dollars on it. Shouts out to the Bitcoin Mag team, the physical zine team. My boy Joe Rogers working overtime over there. Absolutely love what you guys are doing. Anyways, Rustin, what's your score today?
All right, I got an autograph Cypher Dean Fiat Standard.
Oh man.
He hooked it up.
Wow, soft flex. All right, guys, before we cover your meme review score, drop them right now. But check out Represent LTD.com. Use the promo code simply, all caps -Bitcoin. We wear the merch every single day. I'm wearing the Simply Bitcoin Represent dad hat. Rustin's wearing the snapback. Rustin's wearing, I'm pretty sure this is the
Fiat Destroyer.
Yeah, I don't think there's any more of these camo hoodies anymore. So, hey, if
unless you're a left tackle, I think. It's like there's 2X and 3X.
Hefty boys still winning. All right, guys, let me get back in here. Let me check the chat for some meme review scores.
Oh, Rave Elevator Savage.
Hold on. Let me see. Rope along. Hold on. Let me see. Wait, so many comments. 1 second. Okay. Wait. All right, here we go. I don't know. I might be missing one of you guys. Anyways, J Dub, the Laker, 21 mil goes. I give the meme reviews 21 million sugar cookies Augustin has ate this year alone.
Minimum.
Savage. All right, this next one, Rope. Rating those memes, Opti's daily pop culture. This is true, bro. I have the worst memory. Pop culture is in the garbage bin. Anyways, this next one, the P-Man band goes, I give those memes the government warning about misinformation while spreading misinformation and plebs fighting the misinformation of government's misinformation. If you know, you know. This is why it's the meme review. Okay, this next one, shouts out to my buddy, Fiat Respecter, in parentheses, you will own CBDCs, score, Opti's Gulag inmate tattoos, 6'9", HFSP 6'9", property of Chrissy. Oh, man. Amazing. Okay, at Bitcoin Becca, I give these memes a tag in an RD meme. Yes, if you know, you know. Okay, this next one, Igor, I give those memes a lightning box. Love it. Okay, Elaine, I give those memes a Bitcoin world in my time. Let's go. Elaine gets it. Okay, Rave Elevator, I give the memes many contaminated rainbow rivers in Ohio. Oof, wrecked. That's gonna get us canceled. Anyway, Selly, I give each a buried hard drive found in the landfill. Oof. Oh yeah. Becca's I don't have the music up here right now.
Need more cyborg dogs to find that hard drive.
I don't have the epic background music. Anyways, we'll bring it back. I'll make sure I have it on the meme review score whenever I do it again on Wednesday. Anyways, guys, you already know. If you like the show, it is an audio only form on Anchor. It's on Spotify. It's on Apple. We are a part of the Fountain Value for Value economy. I will read your guys' scores, your streams on the Friday show. If I might be blanking on some of the clips, but we appreciate everyone that is sending us sats, clipping the show. It means a lot. Spread the Bitcoin signal. Not only our show, spread it to everyone, man. Like, this is what we're doing. And then, of course, man, if you like what we're doing, not only like and subscribe to our show, but hey, we do have super chats. You guys can send us some love in fiat, dirty fiat currencies, but you don't have to. We're going to do this show for free for as long as humanly possible. But hey, you can help us stay independent as possible. Anyways, Rustin, I think we killed it today.
We totally convert those cuck bucks to real money as soon as possible.
Exactly.
It's burning as you look at it.
Also, guys, we are on the Twitter Spaces for about another, 40 something minutes, maybe a little longer. So come hang out with us on Twitter Spaces. If you like and want to continue the conversation, we will be live until 2 p.m. Eastern on Twitter Spaces. So again, we appreciate all you guys. We will be back to our normal show tomorrow. We'll bring you all the receipts. Oh, also, I am pretty sure we have an IRL tonight. Yes, we do have an IRL. So come back later tonight. I will stream it into the Spaces. We'll make sure you guys are getting that content. And then, of course, shouts out to our 10K subscribers. We have made it. We have made it to the psychologically round 10K subscribers on YouTube. We appreciate every single one of you guys. If you're not subscribing to our channel, hit that little button. It helps us. It means the world to us. And make sure you're checking out all the other content. We got short form, long form, medium form, all the forms, all the mediums, so that we can get this signal out there. So here's to 20K, here's to 100K. We're going to put in that work, guys. We appreciate you. Come hang out with us on Twitter Spaces. Peace out.